This week's episode brings us to the gym. We have fitness entrepreneur and my good friend, Adam Collard. Adam found fame on a popular reality TV show and leveraged his audience to build a six-figure fitness business. This includes 2 gyms, an online fitness coaching community, and also international brand deals. Tune in to see how Adam got started in business, some valuable advice when working in the fitness industry, and some exciting news in Adam's personal life. So we're at Sculpt Fitness in Newcastle right now.
Yeah.
Adam, today's guest, has kindly invited us down to his gym.
Yeah, so
this is one of 2, right?
So this is one of 2. This is the one that was pre-Love Island. So this was a year, just shy of a year before that. Obviously, we know my intentions for going on the show, really, don't we? So
business. We'll talk about that.
But yeah, so opened this when I was 21. Was basically just personal trainer, 18 until 21.
So big thanks to Adam for showing us this gym. Jack is blown out of his arse right now. So we're going to head back to the studio. Welcome back to another episode of Wi-Fi Money.
Big was further movement to the world. Making money off my iPhone, yeah, every day I network.
Okay, here we are. We're in the Wi-Fi Money studio, aka Adam's humble abode. Thanks for having us, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks. I've always wanted to be in the living room with you again. I know we broke up a while ago.
We broke up a while ago. It's been a long time coming. I've always wanted to be on a podcast with you, Adam, to be honest. And I've had to set one up myself to make it happen.
Yeah, I know. We spent that Valentine's Day together though, didn't we? I just thought about that with the sofa.
Yeah, so many years ago when we were both single, and we'll get into how we met sooner rather than later, but we were single, Valentine's Day, just chilling, just not really knowing what we're going to do. We were recently single, not really knowing what we're going to do with our lives. And then fast forward to now, we're all grown up and we're all settled down now.
Just as daft,
but we're making moves, both of us, and we're going to talk about that today. So Wi-Fi Money is all about people that make money basically on their phones, you know, on the go, anywhere they want, right? And you do just that. And I think it's important to kind of talk about, especially in the fitness industry, you know, how you do that, because you are top of the game. And we're going to kind of find out a little bit more about how you make money on the go and stuff like that. I'm excited to hear about it. But also, we will be finding out a little bit about some personal stuff about Adam Collard, you know, some stories about me and you from back in the day. And finally, we will be doing what we do every week. If you're an avid listener, you'll know this. We'll do your dream team. So throughout the podcast, we'll be asking you your dream business partner, your dream salesperson, your dream influencer or brand ambassador for your business, and then finally your dream CEO to take over your business. When you're old and grey and you're chilling in the Maldives, someone's going to look after your business for you, and we'll get to that.
But apart from that, we had a lovely morning.
We did. Thanks for inviting us to the gym as well. Yeah.
Little pump. Are you feeling all right?
My legs were trembling a little bit. I don't know if it's the caffeine. What are those energy drinks called?
Them ABEs. I know.
Oh my God.
That's not a shameless plug. But it's nice that you've put your t-shirt.
We're actually trying to get sponsored by
Jesus.
Celsius, so I think that's the drink that we're.
I'm gonna drink Celsius because that one too much.
Yeah,
you know, I'm
there
gonna
you
have
go.
a heart attack. 2 of them in a day, I'm dead.
It's good.
But yeah, that was a pretty cool workout. I have a great question for you guys to get started. So, how did you two meet? What was you guys' first interaction?
So we went on a little TV show called Love Island. I was 22, full of hell. Had a rage against the world and the world of women, to be honest, but also wanted to just kind of, and we'll get into this, like blow up my business, try and do different things, travel, make money online. That was actually quite a lot of motivation for going on the show, alongside if I found someone, it was a bonus. And I think I'll always admit that. And I did. And she was great. And I was with her for like 9-10 months, probably the longest one off that year. But off the back of that, you came in on week 6, something like that?
Something like that, week 6.
Week
I was
5 or
watching
6?
from home.
That is mad when you think about it.
Sitting at home watching it, watching everyone that was on there.
So you'd already been in for 6 weeks.
I think I'd been in for 5 and a bit, 6.
Yeah,
you got lucky then, really.
I came in a little bit later. Yeah, I want to say I think it'd been going on for at least a month, and I was watching at home, and then just got the call and said, do you want to come on?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm watching it right now. And like, I had an inkling that I could be going on, so I'd already been like sort of making my plan on like how I would go about it. And
Do you want to tell them what that plan was?
yeah, so obviously I was watching at home.
I think I've seen a clip of this.
I'll tell you what, we'll roll the audio like right now.
Yeah.
So you can see it. So yeah, that's me coming in all like guns blazing, because basically I've been at home, and I remember I was sitting it was in the morning, and there was a BBC news report about how women are treated on reality TV shows. And I don't know if you've seen this.
No.
Like,
I was in there.
Yeah, you were in there. Yeah, but I don't know if you've seen it like since. But it was BBC News.
Yeah.
It was like an actual like news reporter in the morning talking about how women are treated, and yeah, public enemy number one was Adam. And I was like, oh, wouldn't be
What did
really
you do? What did you do?
I just
Nothing
played.
crazy.
I just did the show. I just
Yeah, you just-
got with the first girl I liked, and then realised that she'd been engaged about 6 weeks ago. That was Kendall, and then went to the next one, who was Welsh. Would it have moved to Zora
Rosie?
by then?
Rosie?
No, I know her name. I know Rosie. It's probably my most iconic.
Just name 4 in like 20 seconds.
But
That was the
was
one
I
that
with Zora when you came in?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So Zara was obviously the third girl. That was the one who I ended up being with for like 10 months after the show.
And is that why they made the?
So he came in basically and was like, oh, what we're going to do, ruffle some feathers. And I thought the producers had told you, because he came in and they were like, oh, why are you here? And normally all the girls go, oh, I'm looking for love. And all the boys go, I'm here for a great summer and I'm looking for love as well. It's like a load of shite, right? And he came and he went, I'm here to teach Adam how to treat a woman right. And I thought, oh, I'm going to absolutely rip you a new arsehole right, across these next 3 weeks in this villa. And
So it started as a hate relationship.
well, yeah, but it wasn't though, because I knew the game, and I think that if anyone else had not knew the game, as in didn't know that the producers were amplifying it, didn't know that, like, the producers don't tell you what to say, but they egg you on.
Yeah.
They like, I don't know what your explanation is, but when I get asked on the street all the time still, is it scripted? And I always go, it's not scripted, but they
Push you along.
they drive situations. And what I mean by that is, like, when in your lifetime are you essentially going to break up with a girlfriend? And I'm saying that, like, for those who are listening and not watching, what's them things called? Like
Quotations. Yeah.
I said, like, they're not girlfriends, first of all, but when are you going to be put 6 inches in between these tiny little IKEA beds with the ex-girlfriend that you're with and the current girlfriend that you're coupled up with?
That's the thing I
Like,
find the weirdest
so
about Love Island.
when he came in, he did that. I rated it because I thought it was good crack, and then I came in the bedroom and I think you were just stared
I was
at me.
I was a bit
And you
like,
were like,
I was a bit like, because all the boys then didn't want to talk to me, and I was like, oh, what have I done here? Because I was like, that will be a really good clip, and it was.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I'm now going to have no friends.
So I walked in, and then me and him got left in the bedroom by ourselves, and I was just full of hell all the time. So I think you were
just
a
shook
bit
my
like,
hand, and you were like, tell me a bit about
are
yourself.
you all right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I went, yeah, sound. And I was like, sweet, don't worry
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
it was, and then I was like, okay. I was like, he gets it.
you got
He
to
gets
respect it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
he's
we
like,
were
he gets
in the villa and we knew who got it. That's what we would say, and we knew who didn't get it, and it was so obvious. Like,
Some of the boys are a bit
so- no, not like that. Like, some of the, like, I genuinely think Dr. Alex thought he was there to fall in love with the woman for the rest of his life. And
He did
also
take
as
it
well,
very seriously.
like, I remember Jack Fowler and me and you clocked onto this because I think we got that the producers were like, you know, push him along and make him ride the wave of like, ooh, big dramatic recoupling. Jack Fowler was getting himself frustrated because he just didn't understand like what they were doing. Like, their job is to wind us up, so we'll go kick off.
Yeah. You just got to like just roll with it. And at the end of the day, like you said, the whole point of it was to come out and try and make a bit of money, right?
Yeah.
That was, I mean, like I said, if you find someone, great. You can even profit off the back of that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, whether you like it or not, if you do find a girl, you're then in that storyline after the show, which obviously leads to other things. You know, we end up filming a Christmas special and we'd already broken up with our girls. You might not have at that point, I'm not sure, but like then that creates more situations, and then you make more money out of the buff that because you're back on TV again.
But like, I think it frustrates us when I see people going on now because they know the benefits. Everyone in the world knows the benefits of going on Love Island. For me, I had a gym at 21. I went on the show at 22. I wanted to hit more people online, and I had 18,000 followers. But I knew that if I blew up, I would be able to coach people in Australia internationally. okay, which is what we do now, which is Wi-Fi Money, isn't it?
Exactly.
But off the back of that, did I pick the girl that I liked the most at the time? Yes. Did I end up in a relationship? Yes. Is that a bonus and is it great? Yeah. But like up until I would have made so much more money if I could have got Zara out my head at that time, because they wanted me to continue with Daryl and then whoever else was going to be next. But my head was spanned by that point, and I was just sick of it.
Being the playboy type vibe, which somehow they convinced you to do it again.
Yeah, no, that was just it is.
So you
went on the show twice.
So for context, Adam's the first ever person to go on Love Island twice.
You're like Donald Trump of the Love Island world.
Yeah, bring him
never
back.
been called Donald Trump, but yeah,
hey,
bring him back.
Yeah,
I would have went with Arnie, but I mean, it's fine.
So he comes back, but you did show a little different side of you a little bit, which was good. You'd grown up a little bit. You understood the concept of the show. You've already kind of caused a bit of trouble.
Yeah, but also as well, I think in simple terms, I was 4 years older and I wasn't as leery as I was when I was 22. But also as well, kind of the girl that I went in with and saw straight away on series 8, which was my second run through, she was the one that I liked the most anyway. Whereas on series 4, when me and Sam were on, I went on day 1 and I was Mr. number 13. So it was like 6 boys, 6 girls. Then they brought me in like an hour later and said, Adam's got to pick someone in 48 hours. Like the first one for me was never going to work anyway, because I was, a bit pressured into it. People didn't have I didn't even know who I was going to pick.
Yeah. So let's move on from Love Island a little bit, and we'll go into a little bit more about, I guess, me and you. And obviously, Jack, you're welcome to ask us both questions if you want, because I didn't end up, you do fizzle out of those relationships on the show. Yeah. You all move on, but for some reason, me and you kept sticking around together. We got paid to go to nightclubs and have pictures with people. We ended up doing a tour together, going to Vegas just for the fun of it. We sort of to be fair, just me personally, I did lose my way in business a little bit. Yeah. I sort of was like, I'm just going to enjoy this, and I'll just worry about, I had a gym as well. I worried about that later, and I ended up selling it. Did you feel like when you were doing the tour and making the money, did you feel like you neglected your gym a little bit?
I mean, just as a quick little add-on to that, me and Sam are actually the most successful relationship coming out of Love Island.
1,000,000%.
if anything ever
You're the
happens,
true winners.
If anything happens to Tommy and Molly, like me and you've got the title.
Yeah, we're definitely second.
But no, I think for me, I was always stressed about leaving the fitness business behind, and I wasn't leaving it behind. But what I was trying to think about is I had finance on equipment, which I still needed to pay off, and I was getting insane amounts of money for going to nightclubs with you, and I was just like, right, I hope that people back home understand that I am doing this to then catapult back into the gym, to then make it 2 gyms, to then potentially look at investing online and building a platform. Whereas I always still had the love there, but it's very hard to mix fitness world, which is predominantly early mornings and it's like that, and being extremely healthy, to obviously getting offers that you can't turn down with brands and going to parties and going to events. But we did all right. We trained most of the way through that. We
managed to balance it. I mean, look, if I was drinking and getting no sleep like I was back then, I'd be dead right now. I couldn't do it now. But the adrenaline gets you. The adrenaline of going to a nightclub.
How long did this period last?
Oh, I did it for a year, and then after the year, so Sam did some and I did some, because we were both big enough personalities individually, and it was crazy. And I was getting thrown money that I can never even comprehend for going into nightclubs for an hour.
Are we talking 5?
It did vary, didn't it? I think
I was getting 5 an hour.
Yeah,
5 an hour. It was I did every single night. And then what happened was they realized, I think one of the tour guys that organized me and Sam was like, right, Adam's a big profile, Sam's a big profile, but Sam can DJ and Adam's still on more TV, so why don't we put them together and let Sam
and we'd become single.
So I think they were just this could work dead well, and also they knew that we were really good friends, so we capitalized on the money. And he taught me one song to DJ and I was shit.
What's the song?
He made it up himself. It was a custom song.
Literally, I think it was
I think it was
a version of Losing It by Fisher, and you could just press and it would go straight to the perfect part.
so I'm the world's worst DJ, but I was just there as being a presence, and he was actually sick at DJing. But I used to I think there's a part of us that was right, maximize the money, maximize the business side of it, but there was a little part of us that was we will never experience this again, and we've got to do it. And I will have the memories with you forever because
100%.
it was insane. We were literally getting the DJ lifestyle of like the biggest celebs you can think, but we weren't. We're just normal kids.
But we were
who
just like random.
You
like
just
I'd never
normal
really
kids.
DJ'd before like that in actual clubs, and obviously, having people turn up to have pictures of you was weird, but funny.
I can tell you guys have some like very, very deep memories together because the moment we all met up today, it was just bang. Do you remember this? Do you remember this? And all the stories were really good, and you're still bringing them out now.
Yeah, I mean,
how long did you two spend together on this kind of tour?
well, you're pretty much like, you're not sleeping together, but sharing hotel rooms and being next door like every single night. So we did Amsterdam for it wasn't Amsterdam. Where did we do the Avicii
We did
tribute gig?
Sweden. Yeah, we did Sweden. We went on like obviously just holiday to like Vegas and LA.
I went to LA and then he just left us for 2 weeks because obviously he met Kayla.
Yeah. No, that was we went twice.
Yeah, I know. But the second time, the second time I was like, oh, let's go back to LA. It'll be dead fun. And then I didn't see him for 2 weeks. And then if he didn't marry Kayla, I would have been pissed. But because he married her, I was like, oh, fair. That's all right.
It worked out in the end. But yeah, so then we went on tour. I think we did Ireland, Scotland. I remember.
How long was that? Like a year?
Ones.
I mean, like, look, it's not every day. So you do like 3 days in a row, and then you'd come back and you'd we went to Malia as well in Greece. So you'd come back, maybe sleep for 2 days, meet up again, and keep doing that. And just as much as they could come in, we'd go.
But I think as well, because I was from Newcastle and I was building I had the gym here, that was my like home working life. And that was what I used to say to people, that's my day job, that's my bread and butter, that's what I'll always come back to and invest in. But at the minute, I've got a flat down in Essex and me and Sam are dead close to each other because we need to be at the drop of a hat, go to a nightclub. And also as well, like, the gym was bouncing, the gym was booming, we had personal trainers, we had stuff like that, but you couldn't possibly turn down and match the money that we were getting for paying really shitty DJs and also working with brands, and you needed to maximize it. And I think we did well. We didn't do the best stuff Love Island ever, but I can definitely hold my head up and say that I think I maximized as much as I possibly could. I played off the Playboy thing.
It's also a very good thing that you didn't let go of the gym at home, and you kept like that mindset of this is my bread and butter. Even though you've got loads of money coming in from all these tours, you stuck to your roots and stuck to your original plan.
I think that
I like the bailout.
I sold mine straight away. I was like, I'm going to be a DJ.
Well, you still are.
Yeah, ish.
Yeah, but you could do that, and you saw me like I paused the button a couple of times on set, and it was just a horror show.
And to be fair, I was like, look, if there's going to be like, I owned a gym, but then Adam was on it, and they're gonna like, you want to be like the best person in the field, right? So Adam had the gym thing. I was like, I kind of need to move on from that.
You need to beat Adam.
I think
you need to be Adam, or I need to move on. So I just was like, well, I'm a DJ now, and that was my plan.
Everyone's got like little niches, haven't they? And like, Frankie Foster does dead well off the horse racing now. He does Cheltenham and stuff like that. But he's only in that little tiny niche, isn't he? And you've got to find something. I always had a plan when I went on, and I still do. Like some of the TV shows I've done since, and I've done one that's coming out soon. Like, I'll be honest, like, I really enjoyed the TV show and it was amazing. I can't tell you what it is yet, but it's one that I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. But really, it was just a bit of a lumper just to invest in the business.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the thing. You need different revenue streams wherever you do. Yeah. Because it's always good to turn them off. You don't know when they're going to turn off, and if they do, you've got another one to turn on. Or, I think that's the best thing about online money or online business.
And speaking of online money, we have a theme to the podcast.
Yeah, he knows. I explained it.
Yeah. So we're going to hit the theme right now. So if you were to start your dream business today, now this could be your current business, this could be a new business, who would be your dream business partner?
I think because I'm in the fitness game, it's got to be Alex Hormozi.
Okay.
Someone like that. He's probably the person that I listen to the most. So I suppose you got two little bits of information. He's the guy that I would say I look up to in terms of, looking for advice, looking for problem solving, looking at how to maximize things. He's done it time and time again. I think as a mentor, he would be insane. So maybe not a business partner, but more of a mentor. And I think that, I don't know, everything he sort of says, it's one of the only guys where I'm like, it resonates with me every time.
He's very nonchalant with his problem solving as well, isn't he?
Like, I feel like, imagine if you did that before you went on Love Island or something like that. Like, you had an Alex Hormozy as a mentor.
Like a
you went on a show,
yeah.
and then you came up, but you were like, you had everything locked and loaded. Like, I always do think to myself,
that's actually
like,
what an agent is supposed to be for, and that's shit normally.
well, yeah, obviously, quite a lot of the time when people go on Love Island, they don't have an agent till after. But I think, like, that was the little weird thing for me when I went on Love Island the second time.
You had
having an
PR.
agent and having it. I remember, which was funny because obviously I didn't speak to you at this point because I wasn't allowed. They were like, they were like, do not tell Sam. They literally said, do not tell
Kayla
Sam.
like literally like screamed at me. She's like, Adam's in Love Island. I was like, no, he's not. She's like, no, he's on.
Oh, no
Love
way.
Island. I was like, no, he's not.
They wouldn't let me tell Sam
like,
because they were
what
like,
the
if Sam
fuck?
tells Jack Fincher,
So it was
and
on
then it's
TV?
yeah, so it was on TV.
Oh my God.
But I was filming Facebook marketing ads in the Holden Villa the second time because I was like, I'm going to maximize this even more.
Hell yeah. Yeah, for sure. You definitely have to like play on it, don't you? And especially like if you already know that, and like it's almost like you had just like a little reboot.
Yeah,
because it
that
does
was
die. Everyone knows the TV stuff dies down,
Yeah.
and then it's like boom, reboot again.
Yeah, I think like unless you've got a business, unless you go into something and like this is, you know, I've always knew how smart you are and how business, like how entrepreneurial you are, but like on the Love Island spectrum, and this is what frustrates us because I always sometimes think I wish Instagram crashed once just for like a little bit and watch all the influencers who've got nothing sweat a little bit. I know that sounds bad, but just to see who's like actually put stuff in the right places because like, you know, there's a lot of people who they're just living for the next like thing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's actually talk about a little bit more about your business because I've done the intro. I've bigged you up. So we're saying you're a fitness entrepreneur, which you are. 2 gyms, physical gyms, and then you do online coaching.
Yes.
And obviously then you've got massive brand deals as well. So they're your main sources of income, would you say?
Yeah, they are my sources of income.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously the actual physical gym where actually people pay a membership.
Yeah.
Do you use any online sort of software for that, or is that actually a business that's mainly like so important that it's like word of mouth, you have to be there, that kind of thing?
Both parts. I think word of mouth is still, you know, it's still going to work, especially in a city like Newcastle and where I've grew up, because you're going to get a lot of that. But I mean, we use an app called Go Team Up for a booking system. We use an app called Fitter for the programming for Gym 1. And then with Gym 2, that was a little bit different because, for context, the first gym that I opened was really like a glorified personal training studio, and it just was an abundance of my clients. Like I was just relentless. When I was 18 to 21, 16-hour days every day, did not care. I was money oriented, I was hungry, and I knew that I wanted my own place. So that membership all started from me just having so many clients that I was like, I need to start a membership because I can't keep doing this or I'm just going to pass out. So that then evolved into Sculpt, which was, you know, your standard class membership, a bit like a functional fitness box, a bit like a CrossFit gym, but we don't call it CrossFit. And then evolved into semi-private personal training groups. So we're like niches, demographics, women's only, men's only, 6-week transformation, stuff like that, and personal training on top, but bringing in personal trainers that are going to bring in a lot of revenue through rent on a percentage base or on a set fee. Whereas the second gym is a little bit different because now that I was established enough and made enough money, I could invest into a bigger property and basically have like a Globo gym, so like a leisure center. Like we have a big massive open gym. It's about 5 or 6 times the size of Gym 1 in terms of size, and then inside that we have small group training. So that one is the one that I think long term is franchisable. That's the one that we could roll out. Like I know the structure, it's the flagship, not really gonna, because it's a much bigger investment and you're financing a hell of a lot more equipment. You're not really going to see the return on investment until like 2 or 3 years down the line, but that one is the one that I personally think you could drop in any city and it would work straight away.
Nice.
And then obviously I have my online stuff as well, which is online coaching 1-to-1, which I still get involved with because I'm a control freak. I could definitely pass it on a little bit to someone, but I just like doing a little bit more of that. I actually enjoy it. Like I really do still enjoy the passion of fitness.
I have a question about the online coaching. So I have a PT down in Portsmouth, but it's always in person 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Now, what does an online personal training session actually look like?
So it's not a personal training session. I will set out their week and I'll set out their weekly routine. And believe it or not, and this will resonate with you, I actually think an online coach really is being a manager for someone's health and fitness journey. So what I mean by that is, for me, a good online coach will lay out the training, but everyone can write a workout. They'll lay out progressions, they'll make it specific for the individual, but also not just specific to, you bench press hurts your shoulder, do dumbbell chest press. I don't mean that. I mean, right, you're a very successful businessman, you've came to me, I'm going to give you these hybrid 40-minute workouts that you are going to do because I know how crazy busy you are. So a plan that they can adhere to, that's specific to the individual, and that's where I come in. And I think I'm a good coach in terms of writing training plans, but I'm a great accountability coach. That's what I'm better at, and that's what it is. It's giving people stuff that can work around their lifestyle, being on point with them with their nutrition, and giving them small, almost like minor objectives to hit, rather than trying to blow the mind and thinking that it's detrimental to the rest of their life, thinking they've got no family life and no working life because they're thinking about getting in shape. That's not a benefit. Like, unless you're a personal trainer, you can't spend 2 hours in the gym every day. Yeah. So, make it relative to the person.
Well, we were talking about that on the way here, weren't we? Because I was saying, well, I need to get back into shape, but I don't have 1 to 2 hours a day to put into the gym, because if I do, I'm neglecting everything else.
Yeah.
So what would your biggest tip be to somebody who's too busy to work out but wants to stay in shape?
If I was going to train you to, knowing the lifestyle that I've noticed in the last couple of days in terms of what you do on the move, I would do 30 to 40 minute blasts, one big lift, couple of compound movements, conditioning, make them all 40 minutes or under, and I would do 3 days on, 1 day off. And don't think about your week Monday to Sunday. Just go, right, we'll do 3 days, we'll rest one, and just do that, and just keep it on rotation. Something like that, keep it simple. So a push and a pulling day, upper body, a push, a pulling day, lower body, something else conditioning wise, rest for 1 or 2 days, do all your work, and just work around your schedule. Don't train when you're traveling, double down when you're free.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
That was solid.
Yeah.
So obviously there might be a lot of like people that are listening to this that want to start a fitness business, or they already do, right? And obviously I've done it as well. And one of the biggest things for me, it's so sales heavy, it's so client heavy. It's not like quick trade to trade. Once you get a big client, it's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this comes in 2 parts. One, because it's sales heavy, I'd like you to tell us your dream salesperson for your business. Okay. And also I want to know a little bit about how you've achieved, so many clients and how you've done it, apart from, utilizing your Instagram page.
Dream salesperson. Honestly, just on a personal level, from something I like, my family and my friends, and one of my best friends is an insane car salesman. If this keeps on progressing the way it's progressing and it goes to like astronomical levels, I'd love to be able to hire a couple of friends and just be like, sell for me. That would be cool. Or my sister or something like that. That's the sentimental side of us. I don't know, obviously,
No, it's good. I mean, a lot of people pick their family members.
Yeah, I mean,
because you trust them, right?
Yeah, you trust them with everything.
They understand your values, goal, and mission.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that would be awesome. If not, maybe just someone who is. I always would love to have a female version of me, and any sort of personal trainer out there. Obviously, we've got some great girls at the gym that work at the gym, but if I had someone who was like maybe out of Newcastle, out of the way from me, but worked on the online business with me, and I'm not being naive, I know that I look the part without trying to sound like a complete bell end. I would like to have a girl that kind of look all right. Thanks. Yes. I would like to have a girl that potentially has the same sort of presence in terms of aesthetics, but also knowledge, but also experience, like me, and then hire her in the business and just go with that. What was the second part of the question?
So the second part is, well, let's say you've actually got your dream salesperson. Second part is, how have you achieved the sales that you're getting today? Like, I assume people are signing up to your gym all the time.
Well, you mentioned the ads as well.
You've got the ads, and obviously you've got your online coaching. Like I said, apart from leveraging your actual Instagram page and the background on the followers, some people are listening and they haven't got that. What's your sort of advice on like how you've achieved all those clients?
So I'm going to give you past and I'm going to give you present. So in the past, in terms of in-person clients and gym members, being seen everywhere. So I always say to the trainers, you should go into a coffee shop and everyone should know you're a personal trainer, whether they overhear your conversation, whether it's the way you look, whether it's what you're wearing. Okay, your own presence in terms of that. The second thing is word of mouth and giving out like free taster sessions when it comes to, it's the name of the game in PT world. Taster session, someone who's out of shape. If the hardest part about a member coming into the gym is opening the door, it is the biggest weight in the room, the front door. If you can get them in there, you can nurture them, you can hold the hand and then give them a little bit of solid advice that resonates with their life, whether it be 60-year-old Deborah who can't do an air squat, or whether it be an 18-year-old lad who's just wants to look like you and get jacked. If you can build that rapport on day one very, very quickly, like a salesman, you're probably likely going to sell and keep them. In terms of what we're doing now, which I think has shifted in the last few years, and I think you'll know this, everything's about community building and culture. There is a lot of things that we do with Sculpt which are free, and I do not get any monetary value. If not, I lose money, but it builds the community. So run clubs, so dumbbells and donuts at the beach. We did a dumbbell workout and then everyone went to this really edgy alternative donut shop. Like, going to a High Rocks event, which is paid. Sorry
to interrupt, but that's like a really funny moment of the fitness industry.
Dumbbells and donuts.
This is how crazy the fitness industry is. We
eat
wait for it. We had a donut. Whoa! Let's go, baby.
Also, as well, it's like very productive because obviously, if they smash a few donuts, they're probably going to want to burn it off next week and pay for it.
Exactly. Carry on.
Yeah, I think everything now is people are seeing through the bullshit. I think and Instagram is very similar to this. I know you said outside of Instagram, but I think Instagram's doing that as well. Micro influencers are more valuable these days because people don't want to see a picture of me, for example, jacked up with just a random protein supplement on a box. They want to see a day in the life vlog of how does he eat, what does he actually eat, and how does he actually use that, or he mixes the protein powder in with his oats. So nowadays it is more about culture, community building, giving people a piece of the pie and then drawing them in that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know I said away from Instagram, but obviously you do utilize it all the time. Like, I'm sick of your fitness posts. I mean,
even I see them
every freaking day, mate.
Right.
Oh, let's do this squat, do this squat. No, I'm joking.
You used to love getting nudes off me.
Oh yeah. Now I have to see you do a goblet squat. So I am sick of them, but I understand why you do it. Right? You do multiple a day, and I think some people again would probably say to you, "Oh, I've only got 200 followers. Is there any point in me doing any reels? Is there?"
Yeah, there is. It's as simple as that. I mean, my Instagram, the best posts that do well for me are things of me and Laura, family life, natural, organic stuff. And I've seen a lot of people who I'm friends with who have micro followings but do so well online, because it's not necessarily about, having a massive following and getting loads of likes.
Being very
If you have
niche.
1,000 people who are very, very consistent and are invested into you, I might get 1,000 likes on a goblet squat, but me and Laura got 125,000 likes the other day. But those 1,000 might be the people that would be invested, and that's who I'm trying to sell to. I mean, I've got friends who've had 20k and are making astronomical money, like I said, online. And I don't know, I think that also it's a bit of a portfolio for he knows his shit.
It also comes back to what you said previously, which I really like as well, like biggest piece of advice for PTs who are trying to make it online as well, which is the be seen everywhere.
Yeah.
It's actually how I found my PT, because I used to go to the gym like a couple times a week and I'd see him there. Every time I was there, he was there.
Yeah.
And having that online presence where every time I open Instagram, I like fitness, so when I scroll in, I see some tutorials.
And Adam pops up.
And Adam's there. Every time I see a fitness video, he's 1 out of 2. It's Adam.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it's being consistent. And I think the thing that annoyed me when we first came off Love Island, to go back to that, is like everyone brought out a fitness plan. I mean, even some of the girls, they didn't have a clue.
Now everyone's a DJ.
And it used to so it used to drive me crazy, because I was like, me and him are the only ones qualified in there that actually should be able to do this. There should be a way stricter legislation somewhere about personal trainers, for me, I think. But everyone in the dog brought out a plan or a DVD or something like that. Funnily enough, now, from being 22 on the show and being 28 now, going on 29, who's the only one still doing it? Me. And that's the difference.
Love that. I love that. Okay, so we're now going to go into third position.
Third position.
Okay. Do you know what it is, Jack?
Yes.
No.
Your dream brand ambassador. So you're no longer going to be the face of your brand. You're no longer going to be posting your reels.
At the end of the day, we're going to give you, I don't know, 10 million, right? That pretty much gets you any influencer or brand ambassador, sportsman, whatever you want.
I feel like you've already partially answered this when you were saying earlier about having a female version of yourself online.
Yeah, who the hell's that?
But who would you pick?
I am trying to think of who that would be now. Who I follow that is like that.
Doesn't have to be somebody you follow. They can be dead or alive.
Oh, by the way, is that still going?
Yeah, I'll double check.
You can have a think about it. We can pause it.
Pause this. Which one cut? Man, I need help with this,
I could probably help you. What about... I mean, if we're talking like, if you did pick girl, like dream influencer, who's like the top in their game in terms of a sportswoman?
Or who's like an actress that stays in insane shape and she's known for the gym? I'm trying to think.
I mean, it can be a guy, but obviously you have spoken about girls, haven't you? So it might be cool for you to say
Meghan Markle.
No. What about... She's not so...
Danny Banks.
Yeah, Davina McCall. If she didn't have it yet.
She'd be good. Because she would cater to a good audience.
Yeah.
Say it.
I think Davina McCall, which is a weird one because I know that she has all of her fitness things going on and all of her own businesses. So I suppose she could be dream business partner as well in the same answer. I just think she's class. It's, I think, what is she, like 52 or something now, or maybe she's a bit older.
Yeah.
She could be a bit older, but like she's insane and she's a monster and she still does all of that stuff and trains. Do you know what? Dream influencer, Laura. Actually, Laura, especially like now going into having a baby and stuff like that, she is great. I've never had someone who I've been with ever help us so much in my life. Whether it be actually helping us with the business or just calming us down when I'm probably overthinking things and, you know, going in on myself or thinking, is this all really worth it? And I think we've all done that before.
Yeah, sure. For context, Laura is Adam's girlfriend, partner. And obviously we can talk about that in a little while. I think you could probably convince her to be your influencer, no?
Yeah, no, definitely.
She'd charge you though?
She'd charge us.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be monetary value, but it'll be something. It'll be blackmail.
It'll be blackmail, yeah.
Yeah, she might not be my girlfriend after that. No, but she's great. She's insane. She's an absolute powerhouse in terms of how much she works, but also as well, apart from the last few months, she likes the gym. She's likes taking care of herself, and that will be something that we probably do further down the line. But yeah,
for sure. So yeah, we'll talk about Laura. How did you guys meet?
So there was a couple of flirty DMs.
Is this
on
online
Instagram.
anywhere already?
Have you spoken about
who
slid in first?
Have you spoken about this?
I slid in.
Good man.
Titled hard.
What was the slide in?
Mate, honestly,
yeah.
Do you know how bad this is?
Go on.
Okay. And I swear to God, if we ever do get married, I feel like she's gonna have to tell him. I'm pretty sure it was a Roy Keane meme that would. It was some sort of shitty.
Do you reckon Roy will come to like the wedding?
I would love him to. Do you know what? I met him when I was in the Euros with her, and I'm not starstruck, but like I do love him because he's not like, he doesn't try to be funny or anything like that. He's just unapologetically him. So I think that like, yeah, he's the coolest.
But what was the meme?
I can't remember. It was just something mental, and like I replied, I don't know, something that I probably thought was funny, and she probably thought was terrible.
You probably put a laughing face, and then.
Funnily enough, your chat lines can be anything you want when you've got about 8 abs, so it's all right.
Is that a tip to guys at home?
Yeah. Just get in shape, and it doesn't really. It works on Love Island a lot.
Yeah.
He was the funny one.
Yeah, they didn't even show. They didn't make me be funny. They just made me be an absolute like melt. To be honest. Like a proper simp. Like I just like loved every girl I was with, and every time like the camera's off, I was just like, "What this? I hate this girl."
Do you think you played into that a bit?
What, being a simp?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my game plan. Let's not go too far into it because I've done it before. But my game plan was just to stay in there as long as possible.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like looking back, that was a little bit of a mistake. I should have been a little bit more Larry in my choices and actually obviously get more TV time, right?
Yeah. I think as well, if Sam was smarter, obviously what he would have done is fleece Georgia Steele for money, but someone did that instead.
Yeah, and that documentary is on Netflix now, so if you want to go watch that, watch my actual fleece
Have
for
you
money.
watched it?
Huh? Yeah, I've seen it, yeah. No, yeah, look, I don't wish bad on anyone.
So sorry, what happened here?
my ex went with someone else, and I, did my own thing, and then I think she got defrauded for some money.
He pretended to be a footballer
pretended
that
to be a
was
football
having
player,
cash
but
flow
he
problems.
did it to a lot of
The
people.
swindler.
Yeah, the
Yeah, yeah,
swindler.
yeah.
Was
like one of
it
them.
the Tinder swindler? Or
No.
is it a different one?
Football fraudster.
Football fraudster.
That's
That was it.
crazy.
So
Fake football player.
Yeah, he pretended to be a football player. He did it to quite a few people. It's unfortunate. Like, don't wish it on anyone. Promise you.
How much money did she give him?
I think it was like 40 or 60, something like that.
Something like that. I think he stole it.
Wow.
To be fair. We're going on a tangent.
Yeah, anyway.
Let's go back to Adam's relationship. Enough about my exes.
Anyway.
We'll be here all day. So
I slid in.
You slid in,
hard
and then what was the
with
first
DMs.
date?
The first date was funny because I'd finished Celebs Go Dating, and it was 1 week before I was opening the second gym, so I was incredibly stressed, knew that I wasn't going to be in London for a while, and we'd messaged like the week before, and then I don't know, like there was again a couple of flirty DMs, and then I just went randomly. I know this sounds absolutely horrendous, but I have just got off the world's worst fake TV date. Do you want to go out? And we went out on that night, and literally it was instantaneous, like from the get-go. Never looked elsewhere, never, like there wasn't that weird sort of thing where like you're seeing someone and there's like a grey area. Like it was literally from the get-go.
Just gone really well, yeah.
Text her
apart
non-stop.
from her being obviously beautiful, what was the other draw? Because obviously she's the top of the game in the sports world, right?
Mate, I'm that thick. I didn't know how big she was.
Oh, really?
Because I never listened to TalkSport. I never did. So I saw her on a Lionesses game. So, and she'll back us up, I think, with this one. I said, it's that bird off the TV, but I didn't realise how big it actually was.
Okay.
Like, I just kind of was a bit naive to it. So I went back to the gym like the week after, and I was like, I went out with this girl, really liked her on the weekend. And then he was like, show us our Instagram. And my mate went, what the fuck? He went, Laura Woods. And I was like, yeah. And he... Obviously, like I've got more followers without trying to be a dick, so I didn't think it was that like major. Like you've got Instagram, TikTokers with 2 million who are just kids nowadays.
For sure.
So I didn't realize. I knew she'd done the football, I knew she'd done that, but like I didn't know how big it was. And then literally people, when it came out, just lost their shit. It was everywhere.
Yeah, like being top of the game.
Yeah.
In that, and at the end of the day, like I think women are getting a lot of opportunities in sport, and especially with the Lioness, it's like killing it. But she actually can back it up, and she knows her shit.
Oh, mate,
and I think that's like that just shuts everybody up.
I text the.
She knows more than you about football,
mate. So
by
this
a
is
long
what I
way.
was going to say. I text the lads the other day. Well, the other day, I'm saying that was probably a couple of months ago, being like, "Yous are arguing with your birds at home about doing the dishes or something like that." Stereotypical. I said, my birds just beat me at who's played for Arsenal, Chelsea, and Tottenham in their career all at the same time. I said, what the fuck? But it was instantaneous, and I think, to be fair, the reason we got on so well is I wasn't like fanboying. Like I was so naive to it that we went out 3, 4, 5 times, and then obviously we were very discreet with where we went, and we went to like a holiday cabin, and we went. She came up to Newcastle a couple of times, and it was amazing. Then when we actually went out into the public for the first time, I was like, oh wow, this is big on both parties. We walked down the street for the first time in Durham, and we got stopped non-stop by everyone, every bloke for her, every girl for me. And then we were like, we're really gonna have to be careful with this now.
100%.
I have a great question for you leading off of that, which is obviously she's in the sports space as well, so it kind of ties in with fitness. How would you say having a woman in your life has influenced your business?
Mate, she's amazing. Like every time that I get stressed about things, or every time that maybe I would potentially, and this is probably the biggest lesson I've learned in the last 12 months, not acting on emotion instantaneously. Like if an employee winds you up or something like that, and I'd maybe fire a little bit too quickly or something like that.
Sometimes you're straight down the barrel and you need someone to...
She brings us down a few notches, and I think that I really like that about myself when I'm with her. But also just seeing something from a different point of view. Every time I have an idea, and I think I'm a good gym owner, I'm a great marketer, I think. And she is always my little test run. So I'll go, what do you think of this glute camp? What do you think of this 4-day-a-week pre and postnatal program now? She always helps us with ideas and stuff like that, so it's massively helped me, and I'm a lot more stable when I'm in a relationship compared to when I'm single as well.
Because I think the culture of like Wi-Fi Money, right, and earning business, and you have the danger of like going down like the Andrew Tate mentality, and like you got to make money online, and women slow you down.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm married, so I agree with you, right? I actually think the opposite. I think it helps.
Yeah.
I think having a woman in your life keeps you on the right track. It keeps you focused, and like essentially in business there are two sides. You want to sell to everybody, boys and girls, if you can, right? So having someone, a female in your life does help you with selling to females, because you can, like I said, just bounce off ideas with them, see how they feel.
I think as well, like, I don't know if this is the same as you, but obviously when now pregnant, and the motivation, I used to basically think, I want 5 gyms and I want this massive business because I've got a chip on my shoulder, and I want to have like an FU at the world because I was a fat kid. Like, that was it. But like now, and I spoke to Laura about this the other day, I said, how cool is it going to be when our kid's 5 and it goes, like, what does mom and dad do at school? And he's like, dad built all these gyms and did this random TV show that was mental, and mom's the best sports presenter on TV. Like, that is sick when you think about it like that. 100%. And there's a different motivation now. Like, that's my driving factor now. It's not just the hungry kid who would have stepped on anyone's toes to get there.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that. So it's a completely different mindset. And would you say that was a recent switch?
Yeah, it was a recent switch because obviously I'm gonna be in a different part of my life very soon, and so is she. But I don't know, I think when you first come out of Love Island and you're thrown into that world, you got to think like when I just turned 22, we got put in this mad limelight where you're around a bunch of people. Like, he's the only real friend that I got off the show, maybe Jack as well. Like, Jack's there as well, but
he obviously is in and out.
But like, there's no one else really bothers speaking that much. And when you're in that world, you think at the time you're the best thing since sliced bread. You think you're the dog's bollocks. You think that it's all of these things matter. Mate, I just want to do well, build a business, build a brand, make it bigger and bigger, earn a ton of money, and build an amazing house with me and her.
Will you, obviously when you're, do you know if it's a boy or girl yet?
No, can I just say one thing before you go into that? I just want to say Adam Collard, ex Love Island Playboy, is going to be a dad.
I know. This is the first podcast since.
This is the podcast announcement.
It is weird when you clap, by the way, because I've been out and about, and like there's the older blokes, they're about 50, they go, well done, son. The blokes are going, well done, son. And I'm like, are you saying well done for having sperm?
It is a challenge in 2024.
They're happy that Adam Collard is officially off the market. They're like, thank fuck for that.
My wife can calm down now.
Yeah.
The best, to be fair, I don't look at Twitter that much because it does my head in, because people are just dicks, aren't they? But there was a couple of funny ones when I first got with Laura where it was like, what does this kid do? Like, he should write a book. And that's coming to Wi-Fi Money really soon.
Yeah, 100%. We'll talk about that. Like, how did you feel when you heard? Was it was it a surprise? Where were you told? Can you give me like the day it happened?
Yeah, she sent us a video about 2 hours ago, just before we were gonna do the podcast, when I was meeting you, and she propped the laptop up in bed as if we're going to watch Netflix and put the phone on there. I was like, what are you recording for? And she was like, just get a family photo. And then she like pulled out a test. And,
so you have the reaction?
Yeah, so I've got the reaction video. I don't think she'll ever want to share it. And to be fair, I'll show you after, yeah. But it was, we've got to a year, and I think that obviously I'm ready for something new. I'm ready for like having a bit of purpose. Like, I barely go out anymore. Like, the motivation, I need something else. I'm ready for my next phase, and she definitely is as well. So it wasn't like plan, but it wasn't.
You open to it.
Yeah,
You'd accepted it, kind of thing.
We had a bit of a conversation where we're like, let's leave it to fate, and fate was very quick according to my swimmers.
Hey, we nothing less than Adam Collard getting it done. Come on, we expect nothing less for your swimmers. So, just smashing it out. They went straight from the balls, bench press and squatting. They were straight in there, absolutely coming out ripped.
Yeah, but I definitely think it's a girl. She's better on a boy, I think, but I definitely think it's a girl. And by the time this is out, it probably will know.
I have I have a question for you on that topic, which is obviously everybody in their mind has a plan for their children in the future, right? You have like a vision of what you would like your child to be as they grow up. So will you say you have a boy this could apply to a girl as well, but I'm going to go with a boy.
Yeah.
But say you have a boy, will you want them to get into fitness? You know, when they're a toddler, when they're 5, 6, will you be putting like the 2 kgs in their hands? And
I think naturally I will be geared towards, you know, I'll probably put a little dumbbell in for a laugh because it's so influential in my life.
I mean, maybe sport might be a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sport.
I mean, footballer would be pretty good.
I know, footballer would be sick,
Wow.
wouldn't it? She's very sporty as well. I think that, yeah, obviously it's a big part of my life, the gym. I'll not force them to, but I think that it's always a good way of like getting some discipline. But I'd rather them like get into a sport and then want to do the gym to help, because that's kind of what happened to me. I was a bigger kid. I was a little bit overweight, but I wanted to be better at
made the
rugby.
decision.
I went in at like 15, didn't have a clue what I was doing, and then went with that.
because I mean that is the scary thing of like wanting your child to get into something, is like you might want them to get into it so much that they actually really just don't want to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be anything. Just be sporty and just be good parents and see what happens.
Be healthy,
Yeah.
happy. It's the main thing, isn't it?
Exactly.
Healthy and happy. And you'll, you know, hopefully have what about more kids? Just one, or you got?
Nah,
you
it'd be a
few
couple,
more?
wouldn't it?
Couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, little crew.
2, 3.
I don't know. See what happens.
See how many swimmers make it.
It's the only swimmers make it.
Boy and a girl. Well, obviously you can't pick, can you? So we'll go 2 and then
That'd be ideal, wouldn't it?
rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and then you build your house, have a massive house.
And then
There you go.
from there, you'll most likely want to retire someday. And leading back to the topic of the podcast, who would be your dream exit CEO? So this would be obviously your current business. One day you're not going to want to be in the gym, you know, making all these decisions, creating new programs. You're going to have your boy and your girl, and you're going to be retired somewhere. Who's going to run that business for you?
You know, obviously the kid when it grows up, it would be ideal. But I think as well, honestly, like really simply, the sentimental side of us, I would love if one of the staff members that I've currently got now is so invested in the business and loves my dream as much as I love my dream and loves the Sculpt brand. I'd love to just pass it on to one of them and just make it so beneficial to them that they got maybe a little piece of the pie as well.
So if they're listening right now, they need to knuckle down.
Yeah,
They need to lock
exactly,
in.
big time. But like, I'd rather do it like that. You know, I'd not want to like get someone externally who has not really felt it or not seen it grow.
Yeah.
It would be nicer to do like that, but then at the same time you never know whether that'll work. So yeah, maybe one of the staff who's there, or maybe a friend or a family member who's younger and gets into it. But I don't know, I've got a lot of time. I'm only 28, so I've got bags and bags of time.
Yeah, for sure. I think it comes down to trust, doesn't it? So like, if you want to pick someone to do that, you want to trust them, and
Yeah.
I mean, it comes down to
I think-
family members or potentially, you know, your son or daughter. Who knows?
Exactly. I think you've just got to love it. If someone loves it as much as what I do, and this is the number one piece of advice that I say to people, oh, would you open a gym, or would you open a PT studio, or be a personal trainer? I'm like, the first question and the only question is, do you absolutely love it? Because there's no amount of like discipline, yes, but like if you've got that love for it, you'll go the extra mile, and you'll always outdo someone who's just doing it as a job.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the one who's last thing at night, I'm the first one in, or I'm the first one working on the business, and it's always going to be that way.
You're passionate and
Yeah.
disciplined.
It doesn't feel like that. Like, I want to build something bigger than me. That's the most important thing.
Is there any new business plans underway that you can think of?
I get a lot of messages about PTs asking for help, funnily enough. PTs asking for advice, or people who are potentially good PTs but want to move into being a gym owner, or, you know, going their own way. I think that potentially in a couple of years I'm going to steady the ship for a little bit first, maybe do another gym first, but then that would be something that I would potentially look at.
I mean, there'd be no one better to tell people how to start a gym and have an online community than you, I think. You know, you are young, but you've achieved so much. And like I said, there's no rush, you know, and yeah, maybe another gym and start, you know, keep building, and you'll be the go-to guy that PTs will want to, you know, listen to about how do I start? How do I do this?
Yeah, I think as well, like, the mistakes are kind of good. Like, I wouldn't have learned so many things from if them like little roadblocks hadn't occurred on the first gym. Like, I think the first one's harder than the second one, even though the second one is a lot more financially and a lot more of a financial burden, and the size of it's much bigger, but it's always harder at the start. I genuinely think I worked harder from 18 to 22 even now, just because it was like, I don't know, it was more relentless.
You've mastered
in ways.
You've mastered that craft of what you were starting with, and you've had so many mistakes that you don't make that mistake again.
Yeah, like you save a lot of time now.
Where did you get your work ethic from?
Probably parents. I get a lot of work ethic from them, but I don't think it's just that. I genuinely think that this like weird sort of mindset of like being the kid in school that got picked on for being overweight
And now
is why the gym started. And I honestly, like, I had a really rough time with it because of like, kids are horrible, aren't they, when they're in school? But I don't regret any of that because it definitely drives us with my own training, with my own business and everything like that.
You have to thank them in a way because you wouldn't be here today.
Exactly. So, but I don't know. I just don't find it hard. Like, I don't find it hard going to the gym. It's like every day, like you wouldn't get up without going and brushing your teeth. For me, I wouldn't go a week without going to the gym. I just wouldn't.
Do you think you still have the same like mission and goal as when you first opened your very first gym? And if not, how has that kind of changed along the way?
Yeah, I mean, we got asked for a mission statement not too long ago. I say we, the team that I'm working with, to build the online business bigger. And it was to help and encourage as many people as possible on their own fitness journey with little to zero restrictions. It's kind of what I'm doing on all fronts, whether it be online or different gyms. And I would say it's the same goal, just the pathways maybe like changed a little bit.
Yeah.
I have to focus on the business to then hit more people like that. You know, I'm not actually physically training them. I'm managing PTs. I'm creating new classes. I'm creating new themes. Yeah. I'm doing the logistics and the ideas, man. And it's those guys that have to carry it out. It's like, it's being adaptable and seeing what's going to work for them.
Okay.
Adam, thanks for coming on Wi-Fi Money.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
You definitely are Wi-Fi Money. And it sounds like you will continue to build online businesses. I love the idea of being, a coach for PTs. I think it's absolutely something that you should do. Where do we follow you?
Adam Collard on Instagram. I would love if you would check out Sculpt as well, even if you don't follow them, but just follow the gym. It's a very cool brand. I think it looks pretty sick if you ask me. And then anything and everything is always posted on my page. Even
it's a very nice gym you've built.
My half naked selfies and my goblet squats that Sam loves.
Yeah,
and the hamstrings.
There's too many of them. But and essentially, like, look, you could be listening. You're from America. Could you technically coach someone from America with your online stuff?
We coach people internationally. Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean,
so how can somebody reach out if they, the online business owners watching from home?
So everything is always driven through my Instagram anyway, but adamcollardcoaching.com, and then it will, in some way, shape or form, you will connect with me directly, and then you will get offset to myself and a coach to help me out. And that is exactly so. You will still get a piece of the pie. You'll get the brain.
So there is hope for someone in, Kazakhstan that one looks like you.
We've got a client in Venezuela, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah,
that's very cool.
I've got one final question.
Yeah,
which
finish it off for us.
Might be a good note to leave it on. So if you could give one message to young entrepreneurs, people like yourself when you were 18, 19, 20, who are looking to get into the world of business, no matter what it is, what would your number one tip be to people?
Just ask yourself a question, because if you can do it when you're tired and when no one wants to do it, last thing at night, first thing in the morning, anyone can do it when they feel good. So how bad do you want it?
Amazing.
Nice. Hey, thanks again for coming.
Thank you, Adam.
Another episode in the bag.
Thank you very much.
One of my favourites. Adam Collard, everyone. Woo!